Hello and good morning. Welcome to our Meet the Advisor series where we introduce a real advisor and ask a few questions about them. This week in Laguna we have Garry Loss. How are you today? Can you tell us a bit about yourself, where you grew up, what your background is?
Yeah, so I grew up in Philadelphia. I'm the youngest of six. My mom had 6 kids in 8 years, 3 of them in 1 year, twins and me. I worked at my father's drugstore, as we all did. He had a soda fountain, old time type of setup. So that was fun. Ice cream free.
That's pretty amazing.
Free
pretty
ice
amazing
cream.
deal.
Yeah. So that's how I grew up.
How did your career lead you to real estate?
Interesting. So this is now my 3rd career iteration. I started out, as I said, at my father's pharmacy, and I worked retail until I moved to LA in '84, and then I worked in retail corporate offices for Cherokee Footwear, then LA Gear. Then I moved to San Francisco and I worked for Macy's West. Then I moved to New York City and I worked for Ann Taylor and then Coach Leatherwear. After that, that was career 1. Career 2, I was recruited by a software company to sell technology back to Fortune 500 retailers and wholesalers. So that would include all of the companies that I previously worked for. That was my value, obviously, to them. So I did that for about 10 years, and then I got into real estate.
What made you choose real estate?
Well, I went out to a bar one night with a friend of mine. This was after the market crash, the dot-com bust of 2000, 2001. So there was a lot of technology companies merging together, buying each other, and the jobs just started to become fewer and far between. So I met a couple of ladies out one night when a friend of mine went out, and we started talking to them. They were funny, very funny, and one of them asked me what I did, and I told her, and she said, well, I'm a trainer for Prudential real estate, and I think you'd be really good at it. And so I continued to talk to her. We touched base afterwards, and here I am. So thank you, Trish.
What made you choose Engel Völkers?
Well, I started out with Prudential in Laguna Beach. Then I decided to get more of a hybrid work, on my own type of thing, and RE/MAX really lended itself to that. Unfortunately, the office I was working with, the franchise, closed down. So I decided to try and go on my own, which I did for 10 plus years and did very well. But I noticed that I was missing the local presence online, and I didn't have any way to talk to people just out and about. So I decided I need to go back to Laguna Beach, which is where I started and a big chunk of my business is. And I interviewed with the brokerages here, and Engel Völkers had everything I wanted. They had the global presence with the local market expertise. They had a storefront on Ocean Avenue in Laguna Beach, and it's so far been working well for me for the last 3.5 years.
What do you value most?
What I value most is that I get to help people. I remember when I bought my home, it was stressful. I didn't know anything. And then once I learned everything, I thought, okay, I can help people do this. And I think the most important thing is I have the flexibility to do that. Not everybody can look at 5 o'clock in the afternoon or at lunchtime. So it's really nice to be able to manage my time and work around my clients' schedules. And I've worked with people from the Channel Islands, so you can imagine how late I was up making a phone call so that I could get them first thing in the morning. So there's a lot of flexibility that you need to have, but it's also a great thing to have.
What are your values? Could be in real estate or in general?
Yeah, just in general, I think the most important thing is credibility and ethics. That's what you get to take with you from one job to the next that is solely yours, and it's your best offering when you're in sales to the people you're working with.
What's your ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal is to retire in Europe, either Portugal or Spain, by the beach. I'm a beach guy. And I want to be able to travel all over Europe, have a home base, and then just immerse myself into the culture, into the different cities around Europe. That's the dream, that's the goal.
What are the 3 keys of success you live by to achieve that goal?
Oh, okay. So plan, execute, and analyze. You get up in the morning, you plan your day, you execute everything you need to execute to do your job and make money. That's the goal. And then you need to evaluate what you've done, what worked, what didn't work, and make sure that you're doing the best you can to manage the process and the clients.
If you didn't choose real estate as a career, what would you have chosen?
I would have been a lounge singer.
You would?
I would have, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I just, whether people like it or not, I love to sing.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
Cool. What do you do in your free time?
I play the piano, play golf. Not so good at that, but I love it. Tennis, travel, and my cats. I've got a Bengal, an Abyssinian, and a Siamese, and they all are very interactive. So,
That's good.
a lot of fun.
And then the last question is, what kind of advice do you have for newer agents that are starting out?
Good question. And I say that because when I started out 18 years ago, every time I saw that somebody in the office closed a deal, I asked them, what's your best advice? And everybody has some. So the first thing is, ask everybody that you come into contact with, what's their best piece of advice? Everybody will have one. Just like in New Jersey, if you ask somebody what exit they live off of, they will tell you which exit. Everybody lives off an exit in New Jersey. Everybody's got a piece of advice. The best piece of advice that I got was get up, show up. Because when you're working alone, or you're working independently, I should say, it's real easy to just sleep in, or it's real easy to, go to the gym first, or go shopping. You need to pick up a couple things for dinner. You need to plan that out in your day and make sure you plan your business. You need to make sure you plan your business at the beginning of the day and then make time for the personal stuff you need to get in.
Thanks for the advice.
Yep.
Thanks for the interview.
Sure.
That's it. That's
How
it.
was it?
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
10 minutes and 5 seconds.
Huh?